Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused Canada, the UK and France of giving Hamas a huge prize by threatening to take action against Israel over the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Prime Minister Mark Carney and his British and French counterparts threatened targeted sanctions on Israel, partly because of its renewed military offensive in Gaza. Palestinians in Gaza's Khan Yunis rushed into Nasser Hospital, carrying casualties on carts and stretchers following Israeli strikes. Health officials said it killed at least 85 Palestinians as Israel continues its bombardment despite mounting international pressure to stop military operations and allow aid into the enclave unimpeded.
The healthcare professionals that we have been in touch with, especially within the last 24 hours, it's very clear that not only has Israel escalated its violence against civilians, as we heard in this report just now, over 600 have been killed in the last few days. But what we heard last night was that the Indonesian hospital in the north of Gaza, generators were bombed again, rendering the hospital unusable.
Earlier today, the UN said it got the approval for around 100 aid trucks to enter. It comes after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed fears Israel could lose support from its most important allies if famine occurs. But now the UN says no aid has reached people in Gaza after new supplies began entering the territory.
Today, one of our teams waited several hours for the Israeli green light to access the Kerem Shalom area and collect the nutrition supplies. Unfortunately, they were not able to bring those supplies into our warehouse. So just to make it clear, while more supplies have come in to the Gaza Strip, we have not been able to secure the arrival of those supplies into our warehouses and delivery points.
International humanitarian experts have warned of looming famine in the Palestinian enclave of 2.3 million people, and the growing outcry has pushed Israel to lift an 11-week total blockade on aid supplies. Canada, the UK, and France yesterday threatened concrete actions against Israel if it doesn't stop its renewed military offensive and lift its restrictions on humanitarian aid. Hamas welcomed the joint statement, describing the stance as an important step in the right direction toward restoring the principles of international law. While in a post, Netanyahu responded, writing by asking Israel to end a defensive war for our survival before Hamas terrorists on our border are destroyed, and by demanding a Palestinian state. The leaders in London, Ottawa, and Paris are offering a huge prize for the genocidal attack on October 7th, while inviting more such atrocities.
We repeat our demand for a ceasefire as the only way to free the hostages. We repeat our opposition to settlements in the West Bank. And we repeat our demand to massively scale up humanitarian assistance into Gaza. The recent announcement that Israel will allow a basic quantity of food into Gaza, a basic quantity, is totally and utterly inadequate.
The UK made good on its threat by suspending free trade negotiations with Israel and leveling new sanctions targeting West Bank settlements.
We will be reviewing cooperation with them under the 2030 bilateral roadmap. The Netanyahu's government's actions have made this necessary.
The latest developments come after Hamas and Israel began indirect talks in Doha on Saturday. But Qatar's PM says the Gaza ceasefire negotiations have not led anywhere because of fundamental differences between parties.
One party is looking for a partial deal that might or have the possibility to lead to a comprehensive deal, and the other party is looking just for one-off deal and to end the war and to get all the hostages out. And we couldn't bridge this fundamental gap with whatever proposals we have provided.
Meanwhile, the Israeli army today said it will expand its military operations against Hamas in the Gaza Strip and will capture additional territory.